doing a liquid though. That's kind of what we ran into last time.
Same with us too, right? So what'll happen is I'll start putting it in one ingredient at a time. So like you guys, let's say you want to do some other liquid or add something.
Yeah.
You got to stick it in one at a time, see if it gets cloudy, see what kind of result it has, right? And then see what happens when we add all the rest of the ingredients, because it may not cloud until you stick everything else in there.
We had to do that last time. Well, you want to go and talk about the formulation. Let's talk about the challenges in flavoring a little bit, about how, hey, citrulline malate, 8 grams of it in 12 fluid ounces of water, that's pretty sharp. Hats off to you. I mean, getting this thing where it's at, it's smooth, it's drinkable. The citrulline increases plasma arginine levels. One of the old fallacies in supplementation was, you look at the early pre-workouts, they just put lots of arginine in the pre-workouts, thinking that was going to increase pump. I mean, there's one of the largest pre-workouts ever. The main thing in it was arginine. And that does not work. It doesn't increase, plasma arginine levels. So conversely, citrulline does. It's a precursor to plasma arginine, and that is what your body takes and converts to plasma NOx. That's what gives you the pump. That's what gives you the vascularity. And it works pretty well for almost everybody. So that's why we've got a good clinically dosed 8 grams in every single bottle. One of the other things that we have in there that you don't see in other RTDs is Dynamine. It's a relatively new non-CNS stimulant, if you will, from a good company, same minds behind Citrulline, as you've seen in the marketplace. All the data is not out there, but you assume that it binds more readily to adenosine receptors, just like Citrulline does. So what that does is it allows the caffeine in your bloodstream to stay in your bloodstream longer. It prolongs the effect. It also seems to give a mental acuity, benefit over just caffeine alone. People seem to be sharper. They seem to feel it more quickly. I think you've seen that too in the testing and the things that we have with both Citrulline and Dynamine.
The main thing I noticed is it hits harder.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a wave of caffeine out the gate. Why does that happen?
I think the Dynamine, when the final data comes out, I think it is going to be something that it's felt and in the bloodstream more quickly than Citrulline. And then you've still got that effect where the energy curve, if you will, is prolonged as opposed to just having caffeine alone. Yeah. So it lasts longer. You shouldn't have as much of a crash at the end when the caffeine does wear off or when it would normally wear off. So those are 2 huge points of this.
The Dynamine challenge to put in flavor. I heard that's.
Yeah, both Dynamine and Citrulline, they're pretty rough on flavoring, and a lot of the powdered pre-workouts and energy products that have them in there, they have the benefit of using a micro-encapsulated version of these things. So you can mix them up. There may be some things floating a little bit, but they mask the taste of the product. We don't have that luxury, so we're having to get around that very, very bitter taste by using soluble masking agents and things like that. And it is tough. If you taste if you just taste Citrulline or Dynamine straight, it is one of the most bitter substances that you could possibly taste. And this thing tastes like, Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Like how many active ingredients is in a typical RTD versus ours?
Well, and what I'd say it's the total amount of actives, which is really unique about this product. This by far has the most actives in any product out there on the market, even most powders for that matter for a pre-workout. So I think that was a really unique challenge as well, seeing the way we would say it is how much stuff could you stuff in a bag before it starts overflowing, and that's exactly what kind of happened with this product. Tons of actives and a great taste.
I think that's a great point. I mean, you see a lot of products that have these huge long lists of 30, 40 ingredients maybe, but they're all underdosed. They might be sprinkled in. If you saw the true breakdown of the product, there may be just a handful of milligrams of something that really is only efficacious in the gram level. That's not what this is. There's, like Dave said, you've got grams and grams of every single ingredient that does something in here. Efficacious, truly efficacious dosages. Nothing's hidden. There's nothing behind a prop blend. It's all out there to see, and it works. So it's not a matter of the amount of ingredients, it's the amount of the total weight of the ingredients that goes into this thing. And like you said, it's stuffed full of it.
Crystal clear, no solutes floating, nothing ever settles. We've had this stuff in a fridge for months, literally, under R&D.
I got this one shipped to me from Ike a month ago. All of these, and they're still perfect.
That's awesome.
Nothing at the bottom. So it's all in sort of that blending sequence, and as Scott said, picking the right ingredients to keep the solubility with so much active in there.
With that said, what's a typical shelf life? Like, how soon do our consumers want to drink it from when they get it?
Well, the biggest thing that starts to fall out is the flavor. Over time, the flavor will fade. Nothing will go bad. Nothing will become toxic. You could literally keep the stuff for months. But what will happen is the flavor will start to degrade over time, so you won't get that really powerful, great in-your-face taste
That's
up
different
front.
from a powder because it's already mixed up, right?
Correct. Powder, just can sit there until once you stick it in liquid, actually the powder often will fall out much quicker. If you left a powder in your fridge under, after you've mixed it, it typically falls out within a day or two.
Yeah.
This stuff is still there, but again, you want to drink it sooner than later because of the taste.
And also stayed away from any ingredients that aren't truly stable and soluble. You see a lot of things now, even some energy drinks on the market that purport to have creatine and forms of glutamine and things like that in there that aren't liquid stable. So you don't have anything like that in there, and also too, consumer drinks it most certainly is degraded into something else. So yeah, everything in here is stable, great shelf life, and as you've seen, sealed. I mean, these things will last for a long time, but even that, when did you open that? That's been open for days, weeks, and it's still fine, months. So there's, you can see right there, you've introduced new atmosphere into that. You've let microbials get in there, and it's still completely fine.
Yeah, one of the big tricks in doing liquids is that to help with preservation of the materials, you've got to have pretty high acid levels. We actually have FDA regulations around the acid levels, but on top of that, you want to go further than what the FDA requires because of what Scott just said. Microbials will start to build up, so if you do open it and leave it open, because of that higher acid content, you won't find the microbials, kicking in, so to speak. And then because of all those actives, being able to keep that fresh and preserved is also a challenge, but still being able to maintain the phenomenal taste with all that acid and the acid that's imparted from the regular ingredients, it's a good trick.
If you had, grams of citrulline in a shaker, and you left it in your car for 2 or 3 days, you open it up, it's going to smell terrible. And that's microbial propagation, microbial growth, and you wouldn't want to drink that. That could be potentially harmful. With this, with a very low pH, that's going to prevent those things. You've had this for months, and it still tastes, smells great, and that is due to the pH that Dave was talking about.
Yeah, it's just fascinating because it's just such a different process than going through a regular powder. I don't think consumers see that. It's a whole different world. So it's cool.
Being able to select the natural ingredients, keeping the solution looking crystal clear, all that's part of it, and that's customers are getting natural ingredients. They really are, right? So
yeah.
you can build a preservation system with natural ingredients. You just have to be willing to put in the extra work to do that, which you guys have.